So over to you, Christian.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Good morning. Anyway, thank you. I'm absolutely delighted to be here. Skills. I'm going to talk about skills. I'm going to get quite animated. If any of you have heard me talk about skills before, I'm very passionate about it. And normally, in years gone by, people would glaze over. So hopefully, you won't, and I'll try and keep it interesting. As has been said, I'm Christian Warden. I'm Head of Skills Development here at the MTC and AMTC. And what I'd like to do is talk about the importance of implementing digital skills in our agenda. Obviously, it's been talked about this morning, it's been spoken about yesterday, but if we are to truly make this work, what we need to do is fully embrace this skills agenda. We can't do it in isolation. We need to embrace the fourth industrial revolution. We need to understand that it isn't just a desire that we need to change things, but we make that implementation a reality. And that has to come through skills development. It would also be extremely remiss of me not to do a shameless plug of this facility whilst I'm here. So I will hope you will indulge me in that. We are in a period of absolute phenomenal change. That it goes without saying. A change that is happening so rapidly that many of the things that we thought were science fiction just a few years ago are happening now. 4 years ago, if I was standing here, lots of you may have heard speeches I've done before, but if I was standing here, I would have taught you about the importance of Brazil, Russia, India, and China. And that if we were going to make any progress in the world of skills, we needed to follow those countries, and that's where we needed to benchmark against. Now, I would have told you that every engineer we produce in the UK, India produce 10. I would have told you that India and China are the global population, or half of the global population, and we cannot ignore the potential of the BRIC countries. Now, we still can't ignore the potential of the BRIC countries, but in 4 short years, and it is only 4 short years since I gave talks like that, the growth has been increasingly global. Whilst they do continue to grow, they haven't grown at the rate that we'd have expected, but at the same time, we need to look at global skills. It's becoming much more of a challenge. So we can't just focus on what we thought was a reality 4 years ago. We need to be aware of new technologies. We need to be aware that things are moving at such a rate, it is quite staggering. Something we haven't seen for a long, long time. And I'm going to talk for the second time, I know Jürgen mentioned it earlier, an hour into the presentation today, Brexit. We need to have a strategy of skills beyond Brexit, and that has to be digitization, it has to be globalization of skills. And this will impact on the skills agenda. We're also, as has been mentioned, we're on the event horizon of Industry 4.0. And we can wait for others to do it, or we can do what we've done before and have a leading position in that skills agenda. What we also need is competitive capability. We need to have that global competition that we've just spoke about. We need to have it and have it embraced. We need to embed it in everything that we do. We need to embed it in an increasingly digitized world that we live in and will live in. And that means within skills, we need to be looking at those global skills and the ways of working, new technologies, new ways of working, new processes, new products. Ensure that we have the right people with the right skills at the right time with the right competencies. And that competency can't be us doing exactly the same things as we've done 20 years ago, 30 years ago. And many apprenticeship programs and skills programs that we see are working exactly like that. Now the problem with that is, it's the old thing, adage, if you train something in something that you've always done, you'll get the same impact, or you'll get the same outcome. And that's what we don't want. So, the digitization of skills issue is here now. People think that it will be here in 5 years, it will be here in 10 years. It's here now. We've got to address that now. And the Digital revolution is breaching walls of manufacturing as it continues to disrupt media, finance, consumer products, healthcare, other sectors, and the explosion of data, as we've just heard, in new computing technologies and capabilities, along with all the advances in new technology, will change the manufacturing landscape forever. It will change the nature of everything we do within manufacturing. And the revolution is coming, and it's coming extremely quickly within this skills arena. Therefore, the revolution needs an evolution, and that evolution is in everything that we do with regards to skills development. Now, the Advanced Manufacturing Training Centre, this is where my first plug comes in, by the way. The Advanced Manufacturing Training Centre is leading this evolution. Industry and academic leaders are working with us, and we're agreeing that digital manufacturing technologies will transform every link that we do within skills training, within our apprenticeship programs, within our degree apprenticeships, within all of our short courses. And that means from research and development across the way to supply chain development through to factory operations, marketing, sales and service. Now the Manufacturing Technology Centre is an absolutely fantastic facility. That undoubtedly goes without saying. It's a brilliant environment for research and development, and it's working with industry to identify what the world of advanced manufacturing will look like in years to come. However, if we don't integrate those skills across the way into our skills development programs and into our apprenticeship programs, which we are doing in this, and if we do not embed digital and future-focused skills into our programs or ensure that our employers take those programs up, it will never reach its true potential. In fact, it will fail. Digital skills are many things within, or they state they are many things within Industry 4.0, and many different priorities are there of areas of activity. But we at the Advanced Manufacturing Training Centre are looking at this practically and how we can embed it in everything we do. And that means competency frameworks. The title of this presentation is about competence. We need competent people. We need competent people that can lead this evolution. If we don't, we won't succeed. We're also leading the way in training development of advanced automation, robotics, and we're all linking into the National Additive Manufacturing Centre based across the way. And based here at the MTC, all of our apprentices get to see that activity across the road. They get to work with it. They get to know what it's about. They get to add that value back into the workplace when they finally go out into that industry. And this is all alongside a base of fully integrated advanced manufacturing and advanced CNC, including metrology, and we're moving now into product design and development and mechatronics, all embracing a digital agenda. Over the next few years as well, and over the next few months, we're looking at human-machine interaction. It was mentioned yesterday in the conference that we're looking at facilities up in the northwest. This will be a part of that there, we're hoping as well. And through robotics and automation, we'll look at virtuality, augmented reality, and artificial intelligence. All of that needs to be embedded within the skills environment we work in. The way we'll be doing this will be through an end-to-end offer of advanced apprenticeship programs. And that means degree apprenticeships as well. And that means looking not just at traditional 16 to 18-year-olds as we would have done, but throughout the adult upskilling of the workforce. The upskilling, the reskilling, the multi-skilling of the people in industry as they are there already. I think someone said 80% of the people who are here in 2020, 2022 are already in the workplace now. We can't rely on 16 to 18-year-olds all the time to take us through into that new technology, that new digitization. We have to look at our existing employees as well. This offer that we have is employer-led, it's truly employer-led, and it involves employers at every aspect of what we do, and it is completely future-focused. Now, I'm not going to talk to you about the MTC. I hope you all have done your homework and know what the MTC is about and how we're looking, taking on board the technology readiness levels and bridging the valley of death. What I'd like to show you is that we at the AMTC are looking at supporting the bridge. We're looking at skills development, working right from this end, right through to the other end. We're working at level 2 qualifications and skills development right through to level 7, with a view to giving genuine impact, business impact, and return on investment for everything we do. The digital connectivity amongst engineers, apprentices, designers, managers, workers, consumers, and the physical industrial assets we work with will unlock enormous value, and again, it will change the manufacturing landscape forever. Now, a little background to us. Sorry, getting a bit excited there. First, a little background to what we are, the AMTC. We're currently delivering advanced engineering and manufacturing apprentices. We're already embracing digitisation, and we are, if none of you have seen yet, you need to see the state-of-the-art facility that we have here. It's using existing technology. We're looking at processing, we're looking at new products, we're looking at implementation, and we're looking at emerging industry needs. Now, much of that, as we said, is led across the lake. All of our apprentices work on both sites or have the opportunity to look at both sites, and whilst they're here, get to utilise some of the facilities. We work closely with Lloyds Bank as there, who have kindly sponsored and funded some activity for a period of 5 years. And this will undoubtedly take the manufacturing sector forward. We provide skills and knowledge the industry need now and will be asking for in the future. And that future is digitisation. And that avoids a long delay in industry realising that they need new skill sets. We are employing many of our apprentices directly. The programme offering the environment is attracting a new level of interest, a new level of interested learner that isn't typically the learner that we would have had 5-10 years ago. Lots are now choosing an apprenticeship over university. And it doesn't have to be one or the other, it can be both. Now, we're embedding Industry 4.0 and digital skills into every single aspect of our apprenticeship programme, and as it says there, we're having a pipeline of future talent. We're creating that talent. We're looking at what the skills behaviours are now, what they'll need in the future, and working with employers to get individuals to think differently, behave differently, and think with a future focus in mind. And with that, we're embracing new digital sectors such as construction, additive manufacturing, and we're actively involved in 2 new projects on that, digital construction and additive manufacturing. Now, supported through Digital Built Britain, I won't expect you to read the bottom, but it just shows you what we're trying to achieve. At the AMTC, we're leading an end-to-end programme. We're looking at revolutionising construction industry from what is essentially an industry that uses on many sites biblical type processes into transforming it into a full appreciation of the digital construction arena. And that means looking at, again, full level 2 to level 7 career paths, entirely built around digital construction. And essentially what we will be doing will be integrating modern digital manufacturing processes into a construction environment. And we're looking at currently at developing 5 new job roles, new competencies, and we'll span the whole of the construction sector. And that will be looking at the REBA plan of work, as I said, the Royal Institute of British Architects, for those of you who don't know. Now, the key to this is that it will link to new Trailblazer standards, which some of you may know about the levy, because we need to ensure if we're developing competency, if we're looking at frameworks, if we're looking at new job roles, employers can utilise their levy, utilise their funds to bring these competency frameworks into their workplace. And that means, again, transforming the construction landscape. I'm going to whiz through because I'm conscious of time. But what we will have is working from left to right, we're looking at how you can get from the concept of design right through to use in building, how we're going to look at the preparation brief, develop design, technical design. Key, you'll see there's 2 number 5s there. It is a deliberate mistake or error or whatever, but it isn't. What we need to do, there was only 1 5 previously, and that would have been on-site construction. The critical path going forward for digital construction is off-site as well. We've got to embrace off-site modular technology. We've got to look at product lifecycle management. We've got to look at digital design technicians, as it said. We've got to look at apprenticeships throughout all of those areas. We've got to look at augmented reality, virtual reality. We've got to look at degree apprenticeships, advanced apprenticeships embedded within the whole of this construction sector. But what we need is people at the start, so we're already looking at digital architects, for instance, who understand the manufacturing process at the point of design. We then need that to flow through the whole of that process, where even on site and off site, people understand the manufacturing process. And that includes all your business information modeling, in continuous improvement, lean activity, all of that is embedded. But then at the end, you don't just have a building, it's there, you hand over the keys and then you're gone. What you'll do, you'll create that data set, you'll understand where the issues are, and you can bring it right back to start in a loop and evaluate the program. Now, we're also looking at additive manufacturing. Now, additive manufacturing is very similar. We're looking at competence of mapping all of the R&D across the processes. This is conceptual, as you see. So these aren't necessarily the job roles, but we are talking with industry, as we are within construction. We're talking to large organisations, small organisations, medium-sized organisations about the digitisation of construction and additive manufacturing. Now, the competence mapping that we're doing are looking at roles, but we're also looking at how they will capture each individual skills, how they will use software, hardware, how they will look at underpinning knowledge, how they will look at skills and behaviours to ensure that, again, that industry can really be future focused. There'll be different types of phasing, there'll be different types of mapping workshops, and we're doing that at the moment. Now that needs experts, and it needs experts with knowledge, and that can only come with a partnership with universities and industry, and that's what we're doing. And this will look at end-to-end process, but the critical piece of this jigsaw, and it leads on nicely into my next slide, critical piece of the jigsaw is our competency development needs to be levy proof. It needs to have trailblazer standards behind it. It needs to have employers working with us to develop those standards. Otherwise, they will be left on a shelf. And so that's why we're ensuring everything we work on from now on is levy proof where we can. This will ensure maximum impact, this will ensure return on investment, and it will ensure maximum change. I've got 1 minute to talk about the levy. Right, so I won't ask who knows about the levy, I'll just tell you. The key part to using the levy and what we're doing is working with employers to not just look at 16 to 18-year-olds, but look at existing employees. Look at how we can upskill those workers. This is a golden opportunity to use levy funds to make sure we have the future-focused individuals that we need. Certainly in our sector, advanced manufacturing, construction sector, and the offsets of it. Now that means we're looking at not only trailblazer standards, endpoint assessment, and we're going to become an endpoint assessment organisation, we're hoping, but also degree apprenticeships, again giving us a route-to-route finish. And I won't, these slides can be sent, but we do have a modular approach as well that we're looking at. My final slide then isn't thank you. Well, it is, but is the best way to predict, as it says there, the future is to create it. We truly believe here at the AMTC, that we are creating that future, and we want each one of you in this room to help us do it. Thank you.